It's Mr. Z, and today we're going to solve some radical equations. Let's go ahead and dive on in. All right, a radical equation is basically an equation with a square root. You can notice that there's a fourth root mixed in, but the idea is that we're going to have to isolate x using inverse operations. So when I look at this first guy, I see this equation, I see the left side and the right side. The idea is that I need to get the x out of the radical. Now, it is assumed that because there is no index, there is no number, it is to the second power, right? So what I need to do is I'm going to square both sides. Now, what this is going to cause is it's going to just be 3x on the left side, and on the right, it's going to be 6 squared. But I know what 6 squared is. It's going to be 36. Oh, I divide by 3, and I get x is equal to 12. Now, I want to make sure that this is a real solution. So what I need to do is my check. I'm going to substitute x in. What is x? 12. So I'm going to take the square root of 3 times 12, which is 6. Square root 36 is going to be 6. Yes. Don't skip the check. My next example is not to the square root. It's to the fourth root. So let me take it to the fourth power to both sides. What's going to happen is it's only going to be 5x minus 1. And on the right, it's going to be 2 to the fourth. Well, what is 2 to the fourth? On the side, you can do 2 times 2 times 2. 4. And you get the result, it's 16. Five x is going to be equal to 17. And I divide by 5. And I get a solution, 17/5. If I plug it in with my check, I want to make sure it's all good. I'm going to go ahead and take the fourth root, 5 times 17/5 minus 1 is equal to 2. Now, this is going to cancel out the denominators. Remember this from my last unit, 5 divided by 5 is going to be 1. So what's going to be left is it's going to be the fourth root of 17 minus 1 is equal to 2. The fourth root of 16 is equal to 2. And that is correct. My answer is right. All right. Oh my God, it's a little different. So what I need you to understand is that the normal order of operations is PEMDAS, right? For an inverse, you go in the opposite order. You're going to go from adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing. I am going to divide it by 2 first before I deal with this radical. So what this is going to turn into is 3 times x plus 5 equals 1/2. Now I'm going to address the radical by raising both sides to the third power. I had to do multiplying and dividing before I dealt with the exponent. This is going to be x plus 5, which is equal to 1/2 to the third. To do 1/2 to the third, right? That means I distribute it to both. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. I get 1/8. X plus 5 is equal to 1/8. Now I need to go ahead and get my x by itself. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5 from both sides. This is going to result in being x is equal to 1/8 minus 5. And I can go ahead and use my integer rules. So x is equal to 1/8. I need to rewrite it as a denominator of an 8. So I need to take -5, and I want to multiply both the denominator and the numerator by 8. So this is going to produce negative 40/8, right? Negative 5 is the same thing as negative 40 divided by 8, giving me my solution is negative 39/8. Let's make sure this is the right solution by substituting back into the original. And I'm going to go ahead and take negative 39/8 plus 5 is going to be equal to 1. Okay, in order to do this, I'm going to use a similar strategy. I need to turn 5 and I need to turn it into an 8. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 8. So this is going to be the cube root of negative 39/8 plus 40/8, which is going to equal 1. This is going to be equal to the cube root of 1/8, which is equal to 1, which means I have to take the cube root of the numerator and the cube root of the denominator. And I forgot my 2 that's supposed to be in the front. Finally, 2 times 1/2 is indeed equal to 1. So my solution works out. Notice when I was working the inside, I basically ignored the outside until I figured out what was going on inside of the radical. All right, the last guy. Remember, the opposite of order of operations is you're going to add and subtract first, then multiply and divide, then do exponents, then do parentheses. So I'm going to add 7 first. And then this is going to set up my problem to be 10x minus 1, and it's going to equal to 2. Okay, this is to the second. I'm going to square this guy. This is going to result in 10x minus 1 equals to 2 squared, which is 4. I add 1, 10x, which is going to be 5. I'm going to divide each side by 10. X is equal to 5/10. I would also accept the answer x is equal to 1/2, because if I take 5/10 and I divide them both by 5, it reduces to 1/2. But before I end, I have to actually check it to make sure this solution is right. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 10 times 1/2 minus 1 minus 7 equals negative 5. What is half of 10? 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is the square root of 4 minus 7 equals negative 5. 2 minus 7 equals negative 5. Yes. Good to go, guys. Hope this helped.